Tampa Bay Rays, like they've done so many others, served the O's a reality check in game one of this 3-game series.
And the Rays are so ahead, they can win their 30th game before anybody else might hit 20. So let's talk about that right now.
You are Locked On Rays, your daily Tampa Bay Rays podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello, my name is Kevin Weiss.
I'm Ulises Sambrano.
And we are the host of the Locked On Rays podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Thank you for making us your very first listen every day. Be sure you check out and subscribe to our YouTube channel at Locked On Rays, as well as all the other traditional podcasting platforms. You can also find us on social media, Twitter and Instagram at Locked On Rays. And send us those mailbag questions, concerns, hot takes, whatever it may be. Voice memos preferred to lockedonrays@gmail.com. Or if you're not feeling that frisky, you can just DM us a message and we will maybe get to it at some point. So there we go.
Kevin, I've got good news. Do you want to hear it?
I am always a sucker for good news. So let's run it out there.
Look at this. We made it. We made it to 1,000 subscribers, people. Thank you. Thank you so much. You guys are the best. We made it yesterday. I think
you all deserve a standing ovation. I would give you a standing ovation right now, but I'm in my pajama pants, so I'm not going to do that. I don't want to have a wardrobe malfunction or anything of the sort. So I will do I'll just clap for you. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. No, really. This is really cool. Very, very awesome. You guys have heard the call to subscribe, and that is really cool. So now we hit our first 1,000, and so it can only go up from here, Kevin. And we're really excited. I think our first YouTube show was late in, I think Labor Day, September something, 2021.
That sounds about right. Somewhere thereabouts, yes.
So it's been a minute, and it's been a crawl to 1,000, but we made it, and we made it because of you guys. So thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much to everydayers who watch every game, every game, and who watch every game, and who also watch the show every day. I do want to give a shout out to @R_Griff5, who yesterday was in Camden Yards and posted a few pictures and videos of him getting to see that W by the team in Camden Yards. And so that's cool that we have built this community of Locked On Race listeners who, want to share them supporting the team. And we will always retweet your stuff. Yeah. So thank you.
If you tag us at a stadium, whether it's at the Trop or otherwise, and reach out to us, we will retweet it and give you some credit and kudos, and we always appreciate that. Hopefully he enjoyed the experience at Camden Yards, just a magnificent ballpark, and that's kind of why I'm hoping that the Orioles make the playoffs so the world can be exposed to what a wonderful park that is. The Rays down the Baltimore Orioles 3-0. Tampa Bay improving to 29-7. The Orioles falling to 22-13. Lot to like and extract from this game. Yeah. Ulises, what would you like to start off with?
Well, kind of like I said on the cold open, maybe not. I didn't choose my words carefully there. The Rays could hit their number 30th win today, and the New York Yankees, who are on the last. In AL East, if anybody needed a reminder, they have 19 wins. So before the Yankees can get their 20th win, the Rays could get their 30th, which is pretty cool. That's how good they've been playing. And the team they're facing is the second best in the American League, and it didn't really look like a death match, if you can, if we can say that. Like it was a tight game, but it seemed like one of those games that you're kind of comfortable still. I know. Look, let's start with the obvious. Shane McClanahan is pitching like an ace. Shane McClanahan is pitching like an ace. Why? It's not that he was blowing people away. He had 7 strikeouts. He's had way more than that. He's been more dominant. But again, this is like the third start, I believe that you can tell that he is not having his A-type stuff, and he still gives you 6 innings of shutout baseball against a team that has had no problem scoring runs.
Right.
He is pitching like an ace. And so I have found the perfect analogy, Kevin, to why he may be pitching like an ace, and I can say he's pitching like an ace, but he's not necessarily an ace. Are you ready for this analogy?
I am 100% ready for this analogy.
You find yourself the most intelligent, good-looking, historian of the country, knows the governmental laws, teaches constitutional law or something like that, and you're like, this woman is amazing. This person is fantastic. Like, I want them to be president. They have to be president. They would represent me and my fellow countrymen just the way that I would like to be represented. But gosh darn it, Kevin, they're 34 years old.
They're a year away.
They're a year away, but they're so good. They're right there. They have everything. But they're 34 years old. They would need one more year. So that's where I am with Shane McClanahan being dubbed an ace. He has done everything required in order to be an ace. He is pitching like an ace. However, just for my mental capacity of, rounding everything out, just let's finish out the season. Let's just finish out the season, and then he can be in the ace.
Another 125 innings. Let's see where he's at when he crosses that barrier. And I guarantee you, you will be saying Shane McClanahan is an ace when he gets to, how about this? Yeah. Not even end of the season. When he gets to his 20th win of the year, whether that's on September 15th or September 27th, or right before the season ends, will you give him the ace moniker?
I will give you one better because I know analytics fans of the show are just bled from their ears and thinking that we would dub somebody an ace just because of the 20 wins. Let's say this. Once he reaches, let's say 140 innings, I think last year he had 133 innings pitched, correct? 133?
Check me on that. That seems low.
Check me on that, but I think 133, maybe that, or maybe I'm only thinking 2021. But I want like a substantial number of innings that we can say, oh, you know what? That would make sense. But again, he's pitching like an ace right now. That damn changeup against righties, it's incredibly nasty. Like, it should make everybody puke when he does that. But yeah, so do you have the innings there or no?
166 and a third innings in 2022 and 2021, 123 and a third innings.
So he has to pass 160. Okay.
He gets to 160 and he puts up similar-ish numbers, then he is good to go, good to roll. And yeah, Shane McClanahan, again, when you get yourself into jams via walks and hits and you're able to recover and get through that and strike out guys on both sides of the plate and do it with the fastball and the breaking pitches, the changeup, like you mentioned, and going toe-to-toe with a real veteran, well-known name in Kyle Gibson. Kyle Gibson is no slouch. Kyle Gibson is probably the Orioles version of Charlie Morton, bringing in a veteran that probably not as good as Charlie Morton, but just a guy that, hey, we need some sort of veteran presence, been there, done that in the rotation that can still get the job done.
Yeah.
And Kyle Gibson kind of is that guy. I mean, we talk about Shane McClanahan's changeup. Kyle Gibson's changeup isn't too shabby either. In fact, I mean, if we want to look at it objectively, he kind of went toe-to-toe with McClanahan in some respect. I mean, if we're adding up walks and strikeouts and all that.
And again, it was a tightly contested game. Shane didn't have his best stuff, but it doesn't matter. It seems now that it doesn't matter if he's not 100% on. Like, he still can give you 6 shutout innings. That's tremendous. And you have to pair that up with timely hits and with good defense, which we will have to tell you in a little bit.
Yes, we will tell you about that. But first, you need to do this. You need to make a fast break to FanDuel during the NBA playoffs. Yeah, baseball season's going on, but so is the NBA playoffs. A lot of sports at your disposal right now. Also, because right now, new customers can get a no sweat first bet for up to $1,000. That's $1,000 back in bonus bets if your first bet doesn't win. There's no better place to bet on all the playoff action than America's #1 sportsbook. Visit FanDuel.com/locked-on and get a no sweat first bet for up to $1,000. Just like we have 1,000 subscribers on YouTube, you can get yourself $1,000. That's FanDuel.com/locked-on, LOCKEDON. FanDuel, it is the official sports betting partner of the NBA.
And Kevin, we of course have to tell people that the Rays play the Orioles tonight. Zach Eflin takes the Orioles, the Birds. Hopefully, he can do some really good stuff. Catch every pitch of the Rays hometown broadcast with SiriusXM on the SXM app. Search Rays.
Yes. In fact, if you listen to the broadcast on SiriusXM, you might hear a promo or two from Ulises for the Locked On Rays podcast. And I think, I don't know where they are at with the process right now, but at some point you should be able to find the Locked On Rays podcast on SiriusXM if you search it. I don't know if that's available right this moment, but right here, the scuttlebutt is that that'll be available in time. SiriusXM, obviously, a really cool product and feature and application right there. Ulises, you mentioned Shane McClanahan. I think we also have to give some kudos and credit to the bullpen. The Rays don't get a shutout or deploy a shutout on the Orioles without Colin Poche, Kevin Kelly, and Jason Adam cleaning up the remainder of the innings for Shane McClanahan. And, Colin Poche working the 7th inning, runners on first and third, his doing. No out. He gets out of that jam. Kevin Kelly liked the fact that he changed the eye levels with some of his pitch offerings. And then Jason Adam, I believe, working his 5th outing in 7 days. And all I can think about with Jason Adam is, again, he's a good backup or complement to Pete Fairbanks if Pete Fairbanks is unavailable or hurt, which he is right now. And that slider, I could watch that thing all day. It reminds me of, I don't know if we've talked about a slider this much since Chaz Rowe, or should be talking about a slider this much since Chaz Rowe, except the difference is Jason Adam can command and control it and has other offerings to get batters out one way or the other, where Chaz Rowe that was sort of his claim to fame, is he's got a wicked Frisbee-like slider, but can't really do much else with it.
I'm glad you brought that up, because being a Rays fan, we've been really lucky, not only obviously in the radio broadcast to be learning from Dave and Andy, but in the TV broadcast, we've gotten to learn a lot of baseball through Dwayne and BA. And it's amazing that after more than a decade plus, BA can still give you those little nuggets. There was something that happened in the 9th inning yesterday. Mejia is putting his catcher's mitt completely outside, like right before the pitch is delivered, and then changed it into the zone. Half a second later, he was giving, BA was explaining, he was giving the target so far outside, telling Jason Adam, this is where you're going to aim because it's going to break right here inside. And that's exactly what happened for the second K in the inning for Jason Adams. So very cool thing to point out by BA, and awesome to know that, I know Christian Bethancourt is killing it with the bat. I know he's killing it behind the dish. He's a really good defensive catcher. I think people forget the steps that Francisco Mejia has done to improve behind the dish. And I think that's one of the things that you can point out to, having that rapport with the pitchers, telling them, hey, trust me, this is where you're going to aim and this is where the pitch is going to break. That's pretty cool. But yeah, Jason Adam looked incredible. 3 Ks to finish the game. And you know what I liked? He really celebrated that save. I like that. I'm really liking the way that the guys are just being themselves. And because once they celebrate, once they're laughing, once they're smiling, it makes the fan closer to the player because we are, dying with the team. We are suffering. So when something good happens, which a lot of good has happened this season, it's nice to get that connection with the ball player.
Yeah. And not to put a damper on the mood here after a Rays win, but we should, full disclosure, mention Garrett Clevenger, the injury that he suffered. It looks like he's going to be out for the year after getting torn up and toiled up in that rundown from, was it Sunday?
Sunday's game, right?
I got to say, and then, I mean, yesterday, talk about making your heart stop. Shane McClanahan slipping and falling on going after a ball. I got to tell you, you got to be really careful with these pitchers fielding anything, be it a bunt, covering a bag. I mean, we remember Jeffrey Springs a couple years ago covering third and hurting his knee from that. And then, not to mention that, you take a line drive off your ankle or your head like Ryan Yarbrough. I mean, these pitchers are, in a way, ticking time bombs. I mean, you almost have to find a way to protect them like quarterbacks in the NFL or college football, where it's like, we don't want you doing anything that I mean, you already have the large enough big scale issue of shoulder, wrist, arm injuries, Tommy John surgeries, sprain here, torn this, torn that, whatever it may be. But the ankle and the knee and the lower body, like that's a huge issue for pitchers as well.
And he grabbed his right knee as soon as he
immediately
slipped. Dude, I was like, don't you bleeping dare. Don't you baseball gods. Don't do this. That would be massive. So we're not even going to talk about it and put it out in the ether. Okay. But yeah, that was scary. Too bad about Garrett Clevenger. It seems like it will be ACL, they said. I think I read from Trisha.
Yeah.
So so he's out for the season, essentially. You're going to have to see him until 2024.
And it's unfortunate. Like you legitimately may not see him in a Rays uniform again. They may move on. There might be another crew of relievers that come up and they just don't have a spot for him, which is unfortunate because it seemed like with the Rays, this was really his first opportunity to thrive and get a lot of reps. I mean, he was on par or on pace to get as many reps this year as he had in his last 4 or 5 big league seasons, running from organization to organization. So to have it happen like it did is just really unfortunate. And again, I mean, it's, the lower body thing. Tyler Glasnow, what's he dealing with right now? Lower body thing, right?
Oblique. Yeah.
Oblique. Eflin has had a career worth of lower body issues as well. So
he already had his back issue and was put on the IL, man. Like you're right. It's crazy how these things are happening. I don't know, man. I feel with Garrett Clevenger, he was also he had a lane, which he was a lefty, so you have Beeks and Poche as competition, but he was different than Beeks and Poche that he had that power component to his repertoire. So he could he could carve out his own special role, and it could be more high leverage than Beeks and Poche. So it's really a shame that we won't be able to see him.
Yeah, certainly. All right. I want to get your gauge on this. We've gotten some comments about what WFAN, their radio crew, their morning show, Evan Roberts and Craig Carton have said or claimed about the Rays. Would you rather save that for another show this week and continue talking about this Rays win, or dive right into the WFAN thing?
I want to give shout outs a little bit more from
okay, yeah, because I feel like we have totally avoided the offense, but I just want to put it on everybody's radar. I know that we've gotten some comments to discuss and mention what is being said erroneously about the Rays, and we will get to that at some point, maybe on Wednesday's episode. But there is more meat on the bone from the Monday W for the Rays.
I think, exactly. Yeah. And I think the verb you're trying to use there, Kev, is not say, it's spew. But
diarrhea of the mouth, as my high school accounting teacher would say.
That's actually a very good imagery for what is happening there in that station. So first of all, again, we gotta name these guys. The lefty pop keeps happening from the unlikely sources of Josh Lowe and Luke Raley. It's frankly incredible. I mean, what both of these guys are doing. Obviously, I would give the edge to Josh Lowe because I think he's more of a complete player. But
more upside too.
More upside, he made a routine ground ball out. Close, like close that like you were like, hey, can we get a replay on that? And they're like, oh, okay, they got him, but his foot was in the air to tap first base. Like, he is a freak of nature. Like, he is tremendous. Now, 7 bombs. There are 5 players now, Kevin. So quick Tuesday trivia, people. There are 5 players who have 7 home runs or more. Kevin, can you name these 5 Rays players?
7 home runs or more. I'll say Josh Lowe, Luke Raley, Yandy Diaz, Randy Arozarena, and Brandon Lowe.
Boom. That's it.
Which also Josh Lowe might have the longest, most impressive shot of the year with the 450-foot bomb that he had several days ago as well. So you mentioned freak of nature, freak athletically. You've got basically a whole roster of position players that are freaks of nature between him and Jose Siri and Wander Franco and Randy Arozarena. And I mean, we can even go on down the list. What Christian Bethancourt's able to do behind the plate and at the plate is really remarkable. So is it just me, or does it seem like when Josh Lowe has a big day that Luke Raley has a big day, like they're competing against each other? I don't know. There seems to be something to that. Like if one of those guys has a home run, inevitably the other guy gets a home run or an extra base hit or an RBI or a sac fly or something like that.
If it works, it works, man. Don't disrupt it. Yeah, no. And both of them were impressive bombs. Again, like, man, it's really fun that this is working out right now with Luke Raley and Josh Lowe. May it stay like this for as long as it can, because we have to know this, Rays fans. Everything is seemingly working out right now. There are going to be stretches where things are not going to be working out, and we need for that time to come to be patient. Just be self-aware right now that everything is going perfectly. There are droughts to come. Be patient during those droughts. And one of those droughts is coming right now for Brandon Lowe. Right. And I know a lot of people are getting impatient, which is fine. I do think it's a little bit
premature.
Maybe premature. Thank you. It's a little bit too premature. It's been 40 at bats. It's not great. He's hitting like 103 or 093 since those 40 something at bats. It's since May started basically. Yes, it doesn't look good. But just like he'll have 40 or something at bats where he doesn't look like he can, what's the saying? He can hit water if he fell out of a boat. I love that one.
Yeah, that's a good one. There's a lot of good analogies there.
Or what is it? He couldn't hit the side of the barn or something like that. Yeah, I love that.
Or it could look like a watermelon to him and he might not hit it.
Exactly. Yeah. But then there's going to come 50, 60 at bats where he's the best player, run producer in baseball. So, yes, I understand if anything, maybe drop him down in the lineup. Maybe not 4th. Maybe that's a little bit too much pressure. I do enjoy the fact that they haven't actually done the whole Brandon Lowe first leadoff. Like, that's Yandy's spot. I love good for Kevin Cash. That's a Kevin De Niro move right there. Know your lineup, know your players. Nobody should be leading off. If Yandy's playing, that's his spot. He is the leadoff hitter. Nobody else should hit that. Now, Brandon Lowe, I know he hit 4th yesterday, or rather he didn't hit, but he was in that spot. You never know what he can do for Randy Arozarena hitting 3rd. Maybe they don't want to mess with Brandon Lowe. So they attack Randy, and Randy may be getting some good pitches to hit. Like, that's how it works. That's how a lineup construction works. So you need to be aware of that. But yeah, maybe just drop him fifth or maybe sixth and take off some pressure. And hey, but again, if you're giving less pressure to Brendan Lowe and you're saying, yeah, drop him down in the order, well, then that means you are inherently giving pressure to another player. So who are you giving that pressure to hit fourth? Josh Lowe? So you're telling me that the rookie, that yeah, he's doing fantastic, but now you're saying, hey, you're doing fantastic. Can you keep doing that and hit fourth in the lineup? Like,
Right.
Let's also be conscious that by putting him lower in the lineup, Brandon, you're going to have to put pressure on somebody. And who is that somebody? Because if I see you in the comments saying, I need Brandon Lowe to be dropped in the order, then I need you to also tell me who you're putting up in batting fourth in this case. And if you think that that's not pressure for that player.
Yeah. And not to, make excuses for Brandon Lowe, but of late he has faced some good pitchers, the likes of Garrett Cole and Roansy Contreras and Mitch Keller, and even going back, whether these guys are struggling or not. Lucas Giolito has a profile. Lance Lynn has a profile. Domingo Herman. But I will say, just generally speaking, I mean, he's getting, and we started to see little inklings of this, I guess, weeks ago, but breaking balls, off speed, curveball, changeup, slider, he's just getting dosed and doused with that. Until he adjusts, it's going to continue to be a struggle, I think.
Yeah, especially when he's chasing out in the zone. And yesterday he had a bases loaded situation. He could not come through, and you can tell, like, and you've always been able to tell when he's upset, he will let you know. His body,
I feel like he gets into his head. It's very easy to see when he's in his head during these slumps.
Yeah, and so not. I want to be a little bit tongue in cheek here. I don't think he might be the greatest poker player. I think if
unlike me, I can go to the Hard Rock on a Friday, never been there before, and win $650. Everybody underestimating me. And I act like I don't know what I'm doing, which I kind of don't know what I'm doing, but I just have an instinctual, just like Manny Ramirez at the plate. He had an instinct. He had a knack for hitting. I've got a knack for stacking up chips, baby.
You're the Wander Franco of plate discipline, but on poker discipline. By the way, that story, folks, that's actually true. That actually happened. So that's not that's not Kevin just blowing smoke up your screens, people. That's actually happened.
I blow a lot of smoke up people's screens, that for sure.
But no, really, like you can tell, like if he's upset, if Brendan Lowe is not having a good day, he will let you know. Which, I don't know if the right answer is to just drop him down the order. You have to do something, but maybe in a 162 game season, Kevin Cash is saying, no, I don't have to do anything. He'll get out of it and it'll be fine.
It's tough because you bench him or you give him more days off and fewer reps. That's not going to help him get right, and that's going to tear down his confidence to some extent. I don't know what the solution is. Maybe just picking the spots, trying to find a really, really good matchup for him to thrive, or hey, lay down a couple bunts, get on base, see how it feels to get back on base, and see if that excites you, or get in a situation where, hey, attack early and count, and just try to hit the ball into the outfield. Just try to make good contact and see where that leads you eventually.
I honestly, I would drop him down in the order, maybe fifth or sixth, not lower than six, because he still can provide some protection fifth or sixth. I would just give him the matchups where maybe the pitcher's fastball heavy. So somebody who throws their four seam 60% of the time, something like that. That you're like, okay, you can attack this guy. So I don't know.
Or
maybe
against a
like
rookie pitcher like Grayson Rodriguez.
Exactly. Very nice segue. That's why they pay you the big bucks, Kevin. Yes, Grayson Rodriguez is going to be pitching tonight for the Orioles. It's been kind of 50% good starts, 50%. Oh my goodness, that's a horrible line. But again, He is a rookie. He's supposed to be really good, but right now it's a toss-up if he's going to be shining or he's not. So let's hope for today that he doesn't shine.
Yeah. I think we went this entire episode by mentioning Wander Franco once or twice, just offhandedly. That's very uncharacteristic. He did contribute offensively
Yes.
with a sacrifice fly, and defensively,
Whew.
his backhand ability, and again, his ability to range and do shallow, mid, deep outfield from the shortstop position. I know we've mentioned it before. Taylor Walls may be more refined and more smooth defensively, but Wander can do things athletically at the shortstop position that I don't know if Taylor Walls can do. And I looked it up just for fun's sake. Is like, man, Wander seems to be just about handling everything, not just backhands, but hey, you got a hard ground ball up the middle behind the second base back. Yeah, he's got it. And he is take it for what it's worth, but he's like 98th percentile, an ounce above average, and that does not surprise me.
No, honestly, he's looked super smooth. I have no complaints with Wander being a regular shortstop, and honestly, not regular, like regular as in the constancy, but this kid's gonna win a Gold Glove. Like I know this now.
He's gonna win a Gold Glove. He's gonna win an MVP. He might win. Maybe
generational talent,
state Triple Crown. He's gonna win it all eventually. Silver Slugger. Yeah. He is going to be a Hall of Famer.
Yeah, I mean the sky's the limit for this guy. I mean, he is unreal, and watching him go to the outfield and make those plays, he's so athletic. He is so athletic. I know we're running long, but I'm happy that you gave him a shout out, because it's really a treat for it's a treat for every fan base to have their own like superstar. Like, it would be awesome to be an Angels fan and get to see Shohei Ohtani and Mike Trout nightly. Wouldn't that be really cool? Of course it would be. Yeah. You know,
except the Rays win. That's the difference.
Yeah, exactly. But like, you know, every fan base has their guy, and you're like, this guy, you cannot get. He's so amazing. That's Wander Franco for the Rays. I mean, this guy is unreal. So we're really lucky to be seeing this type of talent on a nightly basis.
Mark my words. Hot take time. Hot take for you. By 2025, by the start of the 2025 season, Wander Franco will be the best player in baseball not named Shohei Ohtani.
Oh, I like that. And you know what?
Drop it in the comments.
On that end, drop it in the comments if you agree with Kevin. And on that end, let's wrap this sucker up.
Hope you all have a wonderful day. Stay safe, and we'll talk to you on Wednesday.